Today we have some metal keycaps from Beside Studio and Dot Supply. There's been a few metal key sets coming up as of late, and I feel that we're going to see a bit more as the hobby keeps growing. And I received these like way back, so these are just prototype kits for the upcoming group buy, and I don't have the full kits, and there are a few differences to the final which I'll point out. So I have a blank silver set and a blue set with legends, and as we can see I'm missing a bunch of keys, but here's the final kitting. And it has pretty much everything you need. We have an F13, of course our 7U spacebar, no 6U, all the mods you need, no second B though, which some of you care about, ISO enter but no ISO specific keys, but there's more than enough there to make up for it. And for the bars, interestingly 2 2Us, but I'm also not a kitting expert because I legit never care. And there is just this one kit, so it isn't split up, and I'll have everything linked in the description if you want to have a closer look. Let's have a closer look at the caps themselves. These are made from aluminium, are anodized, and are based on the popular cherry profile. A 1U keycap is approximately 2 grams, but the GMMK plastic equivalent is about 1.25 grams. They have approximately 1mm walls, and we can see the machining marks inside, and it's machined deep into the keycap. Small sample size here, but here's a Rama cap and an Esclab cap, which are more novelty or artisan kind of keycaps, but both of these feature thicker walls, and the machining doesn't go as deep because there's no need. It reduces machining time and retains more weight. However, when it comes to metal caps intended for typing, they design them to be light as to not impact too much on the key switch, otherwise they change the required force by you to actuate and bottom out quite a bit. Therefore, it may force you to spring swap, and being light reduces that need to do that. The longer keys will be changed to reduce the possibility of metallic ping, and the good thing about machine caps is that they're not warped. No banana spacebar here, which is truly one of the most annoying things with keyboards, the damn spacebar. Alrighty, for the keyboard I have the GMMK Pro, but I stripped it back after a failed paint/modding attempt, so I just sanded it a bit more because why not. Fortunately, this does have a hot swap PCB, so we can just chuck in some switches, and for that I have some of these grey 67 gram SB Star linears. Now let's put them on. I've had absolutely no issues with fitment. All switches and stems differ slightly, but from what I've tested, none of those were overly loose and none were overly tight, so we're all good there. And there we are, check that out, pretty nice. I love stuff like this because, when you've been around keyboards for a while, it's always cool to have something a bit different, and it's not like the first time someone's thought of this or anything, but I personally haven't tried a full metal keycap set in person, I think, so this is something new in feel, sound, and aesthetics, so for me, I think that's pretty exciting. Looking at this blank silver set, the anode looks fine. It's quite a smooth and shiny finish, quite reflective. Comparing it to the silver anode on the Mode 80, the keyboard has a duller, non-reflective look. Same goes for the knob on the GMMK Pro, which has more of that matte finish. And yeah, blanks aren't for everyone. I can type fine on them, but it does get difficult sometimes doing like one key inputs when I'm not set on the homing row. So that's why we have the legend sets. I believe that this is the finalized typeface or font, quite similar to many premium keycap sets like GMK. It's that rounded Helvetica sort of font, but smaller and slightly bolder. I guess we've just become accustomed to that font and created that association between it and premium sets, but yeah, I think it looks good. It's the mods on this particular set that look a bit dodgy, but it doesn't matter because this is what they will look like. So again, using GMK as an example, it's all been adjusted to pretty much look the same. Function row legends have been lowered, all the mods have been left aligned, caps lock to icon, and yeah, just looks cleaner and better. The only thing that may not be best presented is the color of the legends. The legends are laser etched, so you do feel them a little bit, which is fine, but I don't think they're as white and contrasty as the renders. In real life, they're more of a light grey, aluminium grey, which makes sense, and as always, lighting changes how things look, but they're definitely not as contrasty. I believe the Alluvia keycaps will be double anodized, which is interesting in order to achieve different colors. But you can clearly see here, comparing them to plastic, that there is a difference. And here are the other colors that will be available, which are looking pretty sweet. They also feature a rounded front edge to soften it, as they found that when typing fast, your fingers could potentially catch that front edge, and the scoop is a little more deep and pronounced than other cherry profile caps. One noticeable thing though is that depending on the switch, they may sit a tiny bit higher, and that's more noticeable on say the GMMK Pro, where the bezel to key gap is quite large, but you probably won't be mixing them with other key sets anyways, so it's not the biggest deal, but it is something that's easily fixed if they wanted to. Okay, let's finally give them a listen and compare. Was it what you expected? Very different in sound and feel, however I only have these two examples for now, the GMMK Pro with a polycarbonate plate and the Mode 80 with a brass plate, which are both quite muted builds. Different switches, plates, mounting styles and keyboards will change things of course. Let's start with the GMMK Pro, and yeah, sorry for the substandard stabs on here. The metal caps have a deeper sound to it, it's lower pitched and has more depth and dimension to it for sure. I feel that you can hear more of the plate and it accentuates that It's polycarb with that bottom out, but it's the top out sound that has more of a difference, and you can really tell them apart, and that translates to the feel as well. Since they are slightly heavier, the required force for you to actuate and bottom out is very slightly less, but not super noticeable. And if you really want to compensate, you might want to increase your spring weight by like a gram or two, as the return is very slightly slower, but far from sluggish. As for the Mode 80, it's kind of the same sort of deal, deeper sound and feel, and I mean, you can hear it for yourself. So maybe not what was expected, they're not pingy besides the backspace on the GMMK, but again, that's been changed. Personally, I love it. I don't think I can say whether I prefer it over plastic, but it's just different, and that's something I really enjoy. I think that's it. Awesome, really enjoyed them so far, and with the changes they'll only get better. If you want to learn more and hear more configurations with keyboards, switches and setups, there's a bunch of streamers that have covered this, which I'll link below, so make sure to check them out. The biggest thing though to look out for is the price, but hopefully it can be kept relatively low to make it more attainable, and the group buy should be starting real soon. Again, all the links in the description if you want to check it out. Bless.